welcome to my fall 2023 meal prep video. I look forward to this video all year long. I know I said that 2 weeks ago with my healthy fall bake with me, which I will link for you in the cards, and that will be in the description box down below. I know I said the same thing with that, but when it comes to my healthy fall bake with me or my fall meal prep, or if it comes to my healthy holiday bake with me, these videos are genuinely some that I look forward to all year long, which makes me even more excited to spend this day with you. So hi there, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Jessica, and here on my channel, we focus on all things mom life. However, everything we do here in my space does have a bit of a healthy twist, as I'm a holistic nutritionist and a nutritional therapy practitioner. So everything in today's video has been paired together to be supportive of our hormones and our endocrine system. You all know that I am a hormone health expert and I am clinically trained in women's hormone health. So let's get started with roasting our vegetables and cooking some lentils on the stovetop. As we go through the video, I will talk through all of the ingredients with you, what I'm using them for, how I'm pairing them together, and how you can also use these in your kitchen to support your endocrine system. Okay, so I'm going to get started with roasting up our vegetables, and I'm going to be using these in a few different recipes throughout the week. One of the first ones, let me lift you guys up actually. One of the first ones is with a quinoa lentil salad with kale and then roasted squash. But I'm also going to be roasting up a few sliced sweet potatoes that are seasoned as well, and then roasting up these whole fingerling potatoes. I will start with the squash first because that's going to take longer. Then I will add on my chopped sweet potatoes and then the fingerling potatoes towards the end. And while all of this is roasting, I'm going to start cooking my quinoa as well as my lentils. Many of you know, if you are a subscriber of my channel or if you've watched any of my previous meal prep videos, I like to prep different ingredients, but I will show you guys how I pair all of this together to make actual meals out of the separated ingredients. I find that having these ingredients a la carte is a little bit easier for our lifestyle. And last week I shared what my kids eat in a day, and honestly, it's pretty much what I eat in a day, but a little bit different when it comes to lunch. The reason I say that is I also spoke about it in that video, how I prep the protein a few different ways so I can mix and match. That way you don't get sick of the foods. That way you can still feel creative on a night if you want to pull together different ingredients. And you have endless inspiration when you have these different fruits, veggies, and starches prepped and ready to go. Okay, so I have everything washed, rinsed, and drained, and now I'm just going to dry off the squash and the Japanese yams. I said sweet potatoes earlier, I'm pretty certain, but they are indeed Japanese yams. You all know my love for Japanese yams, especially for us women. It is an absolute superfood for our hormone health. I'm going to go ahead and start chopping up the squash and the Japanese yams, and we will roast those at 400 in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes, and during that time, we will cook our quinoa and our lentils. our quinoa. I have 2 cups of water here that I'm going to put in the pan. I'm going to boil that up. Once that is boiled, I'm going to add 1 cup of quinoa. At the same time, I'm going to also prepare 1 cup of green lentils. The reason I'm doing the quinoa and the lentils is for healthy carbs, obviously, protein, plant-rich protein, amino acids, and both of these are a beautiful source of fiber. I know I mentioned this in probably every video, but every video that I talk about women's hormone health, I really emphasize the use of fiber. To me, it is the most underrated nutrient. We hear all of the time about counting our carbs, counting our proteins, our healthy fats, and I get the need for macronutrients. Like, it is obviously critically important, and we are preparing macronutrients. We're gonna be cooking up protein here soon. We're going to be using a ton of healthy fats throughout the week, and then obviously carbohydrates. You saw me prep the starch with the squash and the potatoes, and then again here with the quinoa. But when it comes to fiber for women's hormone health, it is truly the key to unlock so much of our healing, because oftentimes we hear about excess estrogen, and we absolutely need healthy levels of estrogen in our body. We cannot function properly without producing beautiful, healthy levels of estrogen on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis. However, where things get tricky is when we have excess estrogen that we cannot metabolize, that has been stored in our body from the use of cosmetic products, beauty care, body care, or drinking from plastic cups, eating out of foods that have been stored in plastic containers, heated in plastic containers, or whether that's from glyphosate, Roundup, processed foods, packaged foods, you name it. The need for fiber has never been greater than ever. So for me, when I think about hormone healing ingredients, fiber is always number 1. So for this week, I'm going to be putting together a few different harvest bowls with kale and with spinach, with all of our beautiful roasted vegetables, which the smell right now, I'm like, is it Thanksgiving? Because that's how it feels right now in my home. So putting these together in a nourish bowl, a harvest bowl, is one of my easiest hacks. And additionally, I often get asked inside the membership area, Living Well, if you're not a member, I would highly encourage you to consider doing so, because for less than $1 a day, you can have access to thousands of recipes and my weekly meal plan, in addition to my highly vetted supplements and the ones that I recommend. And there's something really, really exciting coming to the supplement portion of Living Well. I'm going to be incorporating different protocols. So whether you're dealing with a viral infection, bacterial infection, you're looking for more energy, I'm going to have different protocols included in there that you can shop all of the vetted supplements that I recommend. And that's going to be coming before the end of the year to Living Well. So I would highly encourage you for less than $1 a day to join. Also, then you get to hang out with me live every single month as well and ask me all of your burning health and wellness questions, and I will answer them live for you on our video call. But inside the membership area, I often talk about using things like quinoa and lentils in our smoothie. It's a beautiful source of plant protein, and that way we're not using highly processed protein powders. There are very few protein powders that I recommend. Truvani has always been number 1 for me for the last 5 years. In addition to that, I love the one from Dr. Josh Axe. His bone broth protein is beautiful and delicious. So those are the only 2 that I really do recommend. I will have them linked for you in the description box down below. But I'm a big fan of using bone broth in my smoothies. I'm a big fan of using cooked lentils. I'm a huge fan of using beans and, of course, quinoa. So having these ingredients, you can put it in a nourish bowl, you can put it in a harvest bowl, you can put it in your spaghetti, you can blend them into your smoothie. The options are endless, and this is why I like to do this a la carte ingredient prep instead of pairing together all of these full meals, which we will also do that as well. But having these ingredients that you can pull apart and add into different recipes is truly such an easy and beautiful hack, not only for your hormone health, but just to put together nutrient-dense meals for the entire family. So I have the chicken and potatoes in the oven for 25 minutes. It's already smelling delicious. I might at like the 10-minute mark add a wee bit more rosemary. And then the ground beef over here is almost ready. So I have 2 different proteins so far prepped for the week ahead. The chicken, I plan on chopping up some of that for salads this week. The rest I can use in different stir fries or to reheat in the air fryer with the potatoes and the squash. Our oven does double as an air fryer. Then the ground beef, I can put on a harvest bowl. I can put on a nourish bowl. I also can serve it with our quinoa, a little bit of our squash, our sweet potatoes, or with the zucchini that I already washed up. I can chop that with some onion, saute that on a pan, then enjoy that with my ground beef and quinoa. So this is kind of my process to ingredient prepping. Therefore, again, like I have emphasized like 10 times in this video, it's not these set recipes that are already ready to go. It's different ingredients that you can mix and match. So I'm a big fan of making herb water for the week. I just have this large glass pitcher that I put in the refrigerator, and I have shown this so many times on my channel that I will put basil and rosemary, and I will slice up ginger and lemon and put it in here and have it throughout the week. And then whenever it starts to get low, you can just top it off with fresh water, and I like to use it for 5 to 7 days in the refrigerator. So for today, we're going to be doing a fun little twist for fall. I'm going to be making fennel seed water. So the reason I like to incorporate fennel into my diet, whether it be through fennel seeds in my water, whether it's through fennel tea, or if it's eating actual fennel, is because it's a beautiful and rich source of minerals. So fennel seeds are actually rich in magnesium and potassium and copper and zinc. So incorporating all of these into your hydration is such a beautiful and easy hack. And the reason why I'm doing the fennel seeds is because it is a little bit grounding and earthy, which is what I'm craving, especially during these fall months when even in the middle of the day, it can be dark and dreary. I like to incorporate these different nutrients into my diet. Therefore, I'm giving myself 1, the extra boost of minerals, and 2, it's a warming and beautiful experience. If you don't like the taste of licorice, because fennel is definitely more on the licorice taste, I would encourage you to give this recipe a try, because I'm pairing it together with some fresh basil leaves, which complements the fennel seeds really beautifully. Then I have 3 huge bunches of thyme. And then I have 1 entire lime sliced up, and I'm going to be putting all of that into the pitcher and throwing that into the refrigerator. And then I like to let it sit in the refrigerator for at least 1 to 2 hours. Then you can begin to taste all of the flavors, and it actually tastes better with time. So thyme. It actually begins to taste better over time. And so many of the comments that I have received are like, Jessica, this has been the biggest hack at making me hydrate more, because it does taste delicious. I will put some of the other videos for you guys in the description box down below where I've shared different herb water recipes. They all kind of come down to incorporating, maybe it's a rosemary, ginger, lemon. That's one I really love to do in the summer months, but you can do it in the winter months as well. You can also do a rosemary, grapefruit, cinnamon stick water. That one is equally delicious. I like to do that one in December when it's a little bit closer to the holiday season. There are endless options when it comes to creating these beautiful water-infused hydration bombs. I love to sip on this throughout the day. The kids also love to sip on this throughout the day. So I think it's a really beautiful and unique way to get in these added benefits. And of course, all of your herbs. I think that people oftentimes forget the power that herbs have. Even dried herbs in your spice cabinet, but especially fresh herbs. Fresh herbs are an absolute powerhouse, and they give you that really beautiful boost throughout the day without needing to reach for additional caffeine. our water in here. It's infusing all of our herbs, our fennel seeds, and our lime. You could use lemon, you could use an orange, you could use a grapefruit, whatever citrus you would like. I just like lime with this combination. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this in the refrigerator. And during that time, I'm going to go ahead and take one of my BioOptimizer's magnesium breakthroughs. If you've been following my channel for any period of time, then you know that I take the BioOptimizer's magnesium 3 times a day. So I take one in the morning, one midday around like 2:45, 3 o'clock, and then 2 before bed. And I oftentimes think that we associate magnesium with deep, restful sleep, which if you take the BioOptimizer's magnesium breakthrough, you will indeed get that deep, restful sleep, as it does include all 7 elemental forms of magnesium. But the reason that I'm taking it in the morning is actually for memory and cognition and energy. Likewise, I like to take one about midday when people typically have that 2-3 p.m. crash. So I'm getting ready to take one now. And speaking of all of the different minerals that we're including with our herb water, I am extremely conscientious with my mineral intake. And I always say that especially as we're moving into these darker months in the middle of the day where it looks like it's the evening time, it's really important that we do take our minerals and that we do ensure that we're paying close attention to our mineral levels. We oftentimes just think about vitamin D for energy, which of course the vitamin D is really helpful, but one thing that we oftentimes miss is that you actually cannot properly synthesize your vitamin D without magnesium, and magnesium is needed for over 300 enzymatic properties in the body aside from synthesizing our vitamin D, which is indeed a hormone. So when we think about meal prepping and really paying attention to the foods that we're putting into our body, we also need to think about the soil that surrounds us and the foods that we're eating. And are we getting enough minerals from our foods? The answer to that question is unfortunately no in this day and age. So it is really important to be strategic with our supplementation. And so when it comes down to supplementation, for me, magnesium is something that will always be in my daily routine. And like I said, I take one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and 2 before bed. I do measure my sleep with my Oura Ring, and since I started incorporating the magnesium breakthrough 2 years ago, I've increased my deep restful sleep by 30%. Aside from that, I like to take it, as I said, for brain health, for energy, and for cognition in the morning and midday as well. So it really is the perfect pair if you are going to be drinking your herb water throughout the day to add in the BioOptimizer's magnesium breakthrough. And you can use my code Jessica10 to save 10%, and I will put that link for you in the description box down below, as well as the first pinned comment. So this next one is kind of a cheat, but not really. I did include it in my healthy, cozy fall bake with me. That was 2 weeks ago. I've already mentioned it, and it is linked for you all in the description box down below. But the cozy pumpkin chia pudding has been so satisfying for me in the morning time. I've been doing it with a little bit of Greek yogurt on top of it. You could do it with coconut yogurt. You could even heat it up in the saucepan after you've made it, but I've been making it in the individual little containers. I saw some questions, so I will have the lids linked for you all in the description box down below. So I am going to be making that. This one's super simple to throw together, and you obviously can switch out the flavors. You could do butternut squash. You could do pureed sweet potato, anything to your liking, but obviously the pumpkin fits right now exactly what we're doing. And so I'm going to get my chia seeds over here, but first I'm going to be mixing together my pumpkin puree, my different spices, vanilla extract, maple syrup, and a little bit of coconut milk in here. Then I'll pour in my chia seeds and then individually scoop that into all of our containers so that you can pop them in the fridge for the week. am going to hydrate with our delicious thyme, basil, lime, fennel water and do a deep clean of the kitchen with all of the appliances, tools, gadgets, baking pans, and cutting boards that we have used in today's video. But I want to thank you all so much for watching. And if you like today's video, you can let me know by giving it a big thumbs up. And now the subscribe button is right over here on the screen. Give that a click, that way you don't miss a single video. And I hope to see you back here next Thursday.